Most beginners and freelancers that I talk to every single day are trying to make money online chasing the wrong thing. They're building complicated AI tools that nobody wants, when in reality, the real money is in something much simpler. I consistently make $139K a month using a boring, simple system that takes 3 days to set up and requires zero technical skills. It's called Sales Systems. And today, I'm showing you the exact roadmap to 10K a month that all the beginners and freelancers that I know use. But before we dive in, let me clarify what I mean by sales systems, because this gets misunderstood all of the time. Well, a sales system is dead simple. You use automated cold email to connect businesses who need each other. That's it. It's literally just finding two groups of people that should be talking and making the intro at scale. Okay? This is what I like to call the connector angle. And it is the fastest path to 10K for beginners and freelancers. But here's where it gets powerful, guys. Okay? Here's where it gets powerful. Well, what you do is you use AI and automation to scale this process. While everyone else is trying to sell AI tools, well, what you do is you just quietly use AI to create personalized outreach, right? Personalized outreach that feels authentic and one-on-one, and it also feels scary for the recipient, right? So your prospects think that you spent hours researching them, when in reality, it just took you a few seconds, okay? So it's taking AI tools to automate what normally would be a manual process, right? So here's what your prospects actually get. Well, your prospects get valuable introductions, your clients get new business, and you take a cut for making it happen, okay? All while the system runs in the background on autopilot, because you build it once, right? And then it just keeps running forever, right? Because it works, right? Now, the reason why most beginners and freelancers are stuck at zero right now is painfully simple, you guys, okay? It's so simple. Let me explain. What happens is that they think clients need fancy tech, when in reality, clients want more customers, okay? Clients don't want fancy tech. They want new customers, guys, okay? Just keep that in mind, right? And this is the reason why so many of these talented people, you might be watching this, and I know you're talented. I know you're really good at automating stuff. You're really good at building stuff. You might be a developer, actually. I talk to a lot of developers. Actually, my best friend is a developer. It's called Sammy. Shout out to you, my friend. He's actually building with me a SaaS, okay? So I understand how talented you can be, okay? Because like I said, I respect developers. I respect people that are, they spend years learning, okay? They spend a lot of time learning how to build workflows, all this stuff, right? So you've spent all this time building these workflows, right? And kudos to you, right? I'm proud of you. But deep down, let's just be real. You know deep down that nobody wants them, right? Because deep down, you know you're solving a problem that businesses don't care about, right? And let me just ask you a question. When was the last time a business owner woke up thinking, I really need an AI-powered social media scheduler today? Never, right? They never, a business owner never wakes up having this question. You don't, right? When you wake up, you're not randomly saying, I really need an AI-powered scheduler. What you need is, I need more customers, right? Well, same thing goes for the business owner. The business owner wakes up thinking, how do I get more clients this month? Okay, how can I increase my revenue? So this is where inversion thinking changes everything, you guys, okay? Inversion thinking is simple, and I'm going to explain it in this video, okay? So rather than chasing what might work, find what guarantees failure and do the opposite, okay? This is called inversion thinking. Let me give you another example. Instead of asking yourself, how can I become successful? Ask yourself, what are the dumb decisions that I could make that would make me broke? And you never make these decisions, okay? Charlie Munger once said, the only place that I want to know is the place where I'm gonna die, so I never go there. Now, let me show you the 3 major failure patterns keeping most beginners and freelancers stuck below 1 to 3K a month, and exactly how I'm gonna invert them. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna be talking about is it's going to be 1, building without validation. I'm going to explain this in detail. So the first guaranteed way to fail is building something that nobody wants. And most beginners and freelancers spend weeks building and creating AI tools, then struggle to find buyers. So the inversion here is always start with the customer. Start with the customer, not the product. Instead of asking what cool AI thing I can build, ask yourself, well, what are businesses already trying to buy? Okay, see how it changes now, right? Makes sense. And I'm going to give you a simple test, okay? A simple test is just look at what businesses are already currently spending money on, okay? They're spending money on customers, right? If you think about it, they're spending money on customers, okay? Client acquisition, customer acquisition. They're not spending money on fancy AI tools, okay? That's why connector systems work, because you're selling what they are already buying or trying to buy. Let me talk to you guys about something. When I started hitting those 30K plus month, I stopped trying to convince businesses that they needed my cool tech. So what I've done instead, and I would recommend you guys do instead, is just ask these businesses, would you pay for qualified introductions to potential clients? The answer is always going to be yes, okay? Trust me, the immediate answer is always going to be yes. Now, let's talk about the second thing, okay? Now, the first thing is building without validation. The second thing is complexity addiction, okay? This is very, very important. And it really what slows most beginners and freelancers. It's complexity addiction. It's the second failure pattern. See, the problem is that most beginners and freelancers believe more complex solutions deserve a higher pay, when in reality it's the actual opposite, okay? This is something you might be doing that you are watching this, is that you build elaborate systems and complex systems with dozens of features that look great and are cool on paper. Okay, I'll give you that. They are cool on paper. And I always say, I'm proud of you because you're building this stuff. You're literally changing the world, right? But let me tell you something. In reality, a simple solution would sell faster and more efficiently. So the inversion here, okay, just like we did with the first failure pattern, is I want you to embrace simplicity, because simplicity sells, okay? Simplicity sells. So the simplest solution that solves the core problem will always, okay, almost indefinitely outperform complex ones, okay? And let me walk you guys through my most profitable connector system that were embarrassingly simple. So these are the step-by-steps. So find businesses. Let's make this biz. So find businesses that need clients. Step 2, find businesses that need services. Step 3, let me zoom out a little bit. Use automated but personalized outreach to connect them. And step 4, take a fee for making the introduction. No fancy tech stack, no complicated workflows, just solving a clear pain point in the simplest, most straightforward possible way. Now, this made me a bunch of money and allowed me to scale when a bunch of people that I knew back then, if you guys don't know, I was part of some communities back then, and a lot of people noticed that I was scaling really, really fast. And I did this exact same thing that I'm talking about today, okay? And most of them stayed as what I like to call glorified freelancers, okay? And now they are the ones who are asking me for advice, okay? This is not to sit on a high horse and just say, oh, I'm the best, right? I am the best in outreach. I'm kidding. But it's just good to show you guys that when you focus on one thing, okay, and you solve one clear problem, scale is inevitable. And you making a ton of money and getting rich is inevitable because it's going to come anyway. The third thing that I'm going to be talking about is 3, diffused focus. What does that mean? Well, let me explain. It's actually very simple. It's the third guaranteed failure pattern, right? And what it means is simply trying to build multiple automations and workflows simultaneously. Okay? The inversion of this, just like we did with the first 2 failure patterns, is adopt tunnel vision. Pick one thing, one solution, one offer, and go all in for 90 days minimum. Okay? Trust me, like your future self is gonna thank you for this, because this future Saad is thanking old Saad because he did this exact same thing, and I'm proud of it. Okay? Because when I stopped selling everything to everyone, my income tripled in like 90 days. And this is how I've managed to scale, right? So what I've done is I just picked sales systems, a single niche, connector systems as my simple solution, simple solution. And this allowed me to concentrate, okay? It allowed me to, 1, master 1 sales convo instead of 10. Because if you noticed, right? Let's say you are building workflows right now, okay? You're familiar a little bit with NA10, MIG.com, automation, or maybe you're not, okay? Maybe you're just a beginner, right? And you're watching all these people trying to show all these crazy workflows. Or maybe you're a developer and you know this deep down, like every time the project is going to be different. So every time the conversation is going to be different. So in order for you to close the majority of your calls or the majority of your deals, well, you need to have like a specific sales method that you use every single time, right? That is proven to work. But how can you have that proven sales technique or sales method if you're focusing on multiple things, multiple automations, multiple workflows, multiple projects? Right? You have scope creep, where every time the project is different. So you can't really dial in, like you can't dial down your sales process. You can't dial down your sales conversations with those potential prospects that might pay you money, right? This also allowed me to refine one system until it was flawless. Since I have singular focus, well, that allowed me to upgrade my skills and just be the best at one system. The third thing that allowed me to have too is have deep expertise that justified premium pricing. Build case studies with real businesses that made selling, I'm going to make this all caps, effortless. Okay? You want to know why you are watching this and you're asking yourself why I never experienced something called exponential growth. Exponential growth is when you're doing a bunch of work for a couple of months, and then one day you just boom, you just become rich. This is called exponential success, and this is what they call overnight success. People see it as overnight success when in reality it's a lot of months of work, right? And you know it's a lot of work, but people see it as overnight success. Now, the reason why you're asking yourself why I'm never experiencing exponential growth, well, because you're constantly resetting your progress by switching niches, offers, automations, building this today, trying to sell the other thing the next day. So now that you understand these 3 inversions, right? You can see why most beginners and freelancers struggle to hit even 3K a month, okay? So what they're doing is essentially 1, building without validation, which means building what's fun instead of what sells. The next thing is they overcomplicating their offers and jumping between niches before even gaining traction, okay? So the simple truth is success with sales systems isn't complicated, right? But it requires focus and the right approach, right? So my advice to you again is just to get out there, take action. Like I always say, get out there, take action, and stop chasing shiny objects. Stop having shiny object syndrome, okay? Build a connector system that delivers real value to businesses. Focus on the activities that actually generate revenue and actually make you money, and commit to the long game. I believe in you.